Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and today I'm going to be making some bauble cards in my 2015 Same But Different Christmas series. So I've grabbed out some dies and some stamps that have baubles. There's a few Annabelle stamp sets here and a paper pad from Cosmo Cricket. So these are older supplies, and this year I was determined to use some of the supplies that I already had. And I thought this line here from this Hello Sunshine stamp set from Lawn Form would make a good string to hang my baubles off. So I'm going to start by stamping that out, and I'm using my Fiskars stamp press. So I'm doing the production line thing again. I'm going to be making 6 cards. So there are going to be very similar today, these cards, but I am changing up the patterns and the colours that I'm going to be using. So they will be different, but very much the same. So what I've done is actually mount my stamp press, and these pieces of cardstock that I'm working on are exactly the same size as my card front, which is 15 by 10.5 centimeters. And now this is my little practice scrap of paper that I drew out my design on. So I'm using that to get the right kind of angle for my bauble string. So I'm literally just stamping out all 6 of these at the same time. Does make it so much quicker. What I really like about these clear stamps is that you can actually bend them to get the shape that you want. So that's a real benefit to having some clear stamps, and I can actually see through my stamp press as I'm stamping, so I don't have to worry about stamp positioning or anything like that. So now I'm going to get on with making my baubles and doing some die cutting. So I won't make you sit through all of this, but I'm literally just going through this paper pad and choosing some fun I thought this would kind of make nice retro designs. It's not Christmassy, but I think it works really well for Christmas and is a lot of fun. So I'm going to die cut all of these baubles out. I'm going to put 2 of each on the cards, and then I'll be right back. So while I was doing my die cutting, I also got a piece of fun foam and die cut the same number of baubles in the fun foam, and I've left them in place, and I'm using my Tombow Mono to add some adhesive, and then I can just literally add the die cut on top of the foam die cut, and then I just let that dry for a few minutes. Now these colours I think are so cute. And then I can literally just pop them out. I am keeping a bit of a record of what colours I have. I'm putting them back on the card bases as I work along, so I don't have to try and remember which ones went where. So I want to add some design paper to the front of my card, so I've just grabbed scraps from the paper pad and cut them down, and I'm using my stamp runner to adhere them. So I'm going to do this to all 6 of the cards. I've chosen all different kinds of design paper, so just ones that I thought would go really well with the bauble colours that I've chosen. And I want to add a couple of the smaller baubles now, and these are from a couple of the Annabelle stamp sets, and the inks that I'm using are the VersaFine Habanero, Spanish Moss, and also Toffee. These actually stamp out quite beautifully. They're a pigment ink, but they're fairly fast drying, very much like the Onyx Black. So I'm just working my way through all 6 panels again and just speeding along. It doesn't actually take very long once you kind of get a little production line happening. And I am going to cut a little wedge off the bottom of my panel, and I have put a little tick mark there, but it's really easy to do on the Fiskars paper trimmers because there's a guide wire. I'm just using that so that I know it's going to cut exactly where I want. So I'm going to work on my sentiment now, and this one's from Hero Arts, Greetings for the Holiday, and I'm masking off half of this sentiment just with a post-it note, and then I've got some Onyx Black ink. This is another VersaFine ink, and I'm just going to take away the mask before I stamp, I don't know about you, but when I cut angles on panels, I find it really hard to keep things straight again. I don't know whether it just puts my eye out or what happens. I don't know. But anyway, I can use my grid lines there to help me try and keep it straight. And I just make sure that the panel sits across the bottom of the grid line as I stamp. And I'm just going to do this for all 6 of the front panels as well. And I've got the word happy. This is from a penny black set called Good Day. And I'm stamping it out just above the holidays word. And I'm literally using the same colours that I stamped the smaller baubles with and mixing it up. And now it's time to put my cards together, and I really like using my fun foam or the scraps of my fun foam to pop up my panels and things. That way I feel like I'm getting a double whammy out of the fun foam. And often I use either a stamp runner or my Tombow. It just depends really what's close at hand. I find both of them hold really well. So I'm going to continue my production line and pop up all 6 panels now, and then it's time to add the baubles. Now I've just got my Copic multiliner and drawing a little line and adding some Tombow to the back of the foam on the baubles and using my grid lines again. Like I said, I get all crooked when it comes to adding angles to the cards. And here's all 6 cards together. I hope you've had heaps of fun today, and I'll be back again real soon. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.